maintaining a concentration gradient. Remember, difference between high and low. Therefore, transpiration rate increases. Because the more that are blown away, the more that are then constantly diffused, the more that need to be absorbed by the roots. Then the fourth one is humidity. So if it's a really humid day, that means there's lots of water particles in the air. So if we said there's high humidity and there's lots of water particles in the air, I'll just use this diagram again. So let's say that it's a really humid day, there's lots of water particles already surrounding the leaf. The concentration gradient isn't maintained. We haven't got high to low, we've got high to high. And diffusion doesn't work like that. It only works from a high concentration to a low concentration. So in terms of high humidity situations, we can say a concentration gradient is not maintained, therefore diffusion decreases and your transpiration rate decreases. So if you're not sure about the explanations, just re-watch the video. Just take it step by step, one at a time, and make sure you understand why having a brighter light intensity means the transpiration rate increases. Just in your mind, remember, transpiration is the evaporation of water off the surface of a leaf, and that's through diffusion. And diffusion only happens from a high concentration to a low concentration. So you have to have that difference in concentration for it to happen. So the last thing I want to go through now is the guard cells. So remember, the guard cells are on the sides of the stomata, but you need to know how they control the stomata. So the guard cells are kidney shaped, so they look like this. And this is the stomata. It's just a hole, a gap. So let's say it's now at night, or we're in low light conditions. The stomata need to close. And the reason they need to close is because the plant can't absorb sunlight, therefore can't photosynthesize, therefore we want to reduce water loss, so stomata need to close. The guard cells therefore swell. They swell up, and can you see now that they've swollen, they've closed that gap, they've closed the hole. So swell, and they basically fill it with water. This is known as becoming turgid. So the guard cells become turgid, just swell, full of water, and it closes the stomata. The opposite can happen during the day when we want to open the stomata. Water is lost and the guard cells shrink and shrivel up. So can you see now that that gap is open? So they shrivel or shrink. So shrivel, and this is known as becoming flaccid. So they lose water, shrink and shrivel, and the stomata are now open. So make sure you can explain those two, you know, how guard cells control the opening and closing of the stomata.